I didn't even know I had an Uncle Raymond until a lawyer called me out of the blue 3 weeks ago, said he was with an estate firm in New Hampshire and had some urgent legal matters to discuss. I almost hung up. Sounded like a scam. But then he read off my full name, birthday, and my mom's maiden name. That got my attention. He said Raymond Holt, a relative I'd never heard of, died suddenly without a will. No wife, no kids, no siblings except my mom, who passed away over a decade ago. That left me, apparently, as the sole heir. I didn't know what to say. I asked my dad about it. He barely remembered the name. Said Raymond was some distant cousin or uncle who lived off the grid. Total black sheep. The lawyer said I'd inherited a fully paid-off house just outside a small town called Danforth Hollow. A house, free and clear. I'm 28, work freelance, and live in a barely affordable studio apartment. I couldn't afford to say no. I packed my car, left Boston, and drove north. It rained almost the whole way. The GPS glitched once I left the highway, and the paved road turned to gravel. I must have passed 4 private property signs before I finally reached it. The house looked wrong. Not run down exactly, just frozen in time. A 2-story colonial-style place with a wraparound porch, paint peeling, overgrown yard, shutters hanging by one hinge. It felt like it hadn't been touched in 40 years. I let myself in with the key from the lawyer. The inside was worse. Thick layers of dust, old furniture covered with sheets, a smell like stale paper and wet wood. There were dozens of framed paintings lining the hallway, but none were signed. Just stiff, ghost-eyed portraits of people who might have been ancestors or strangers. But the weirdest part? In the living room above the fireplace was this massive mirror, 7 feet tall, ornate gold frame, not a single speck of dust. It was pristine, the only thing in the whole house that looked like someone still cared about it. The first night was unsettling. I heard noises, creaks, and soft knocks, not totally unexpected in an old house. But the mirror made me nervous. It just felt off, like the reflections were half a second behind real life. I'd walk past and swear I saw something shift after I'd already turned away. I tried to cover it with a blanket. The next morning, the blanket was neatly folded and laid on the floor. The next day, I met one of the neighbors. Or at least, I think she was a neighbor. I was outside trying to get cell service when a woman in her 60s walked by with a trembling old terrier. She froze when she saw me, just stared. "You're the nephew?" she asked. "Yeah, just got in yesterday." She stepped closer, lowered her voice, and said, "You need to leave before the mirror chooses you." Then she just walked away like that was a normal thing to say. That night I dreamed I was in the house again, but it wasn't the same. Everything was lit by candlelight. The walls looked organic, like pulsing skin stretched over the framework. The mirror glowed faintly, and there was someone inside it. Not a reflection, someone in it. They were banging on the other side of the glass, screaming, but I couldn't hear anything. I woke up with a bloody nose. My sheets were soaked with sweat. Over the next week, things escalated. I started losing time. I'd look at the clock and hours would have passed. I'd wake up in different rooms than I went to sleep in. Sometimes I'd catch myself staring into the mirror, not even realizing I'd been standing there for minutes, once, nearly an hour. I tried moving the mirror. It didn't budge. It felt like it was bolted to the wall, or part of the house itself. I finally went into the attic, hoping to find tools or maybe a way to board the damn thing up. That's when I found the journal. It was under a loose floorboard, leather-bound, worn, with shaky handwriting on the first page. "For whoever comes after me." It was Uncle Raymond's. Most of the entries were mundane, weather notes, meals, long rants about isolation, but the last 20 pages were all the same sentence, over and over again. It chose me. Hundreds of times, sometimes in ink, sometimes scratched into the paper with what looked like a nail or a knife. The final entry read, "I see myself when I sleep." After that, I started locking my bedroom door at night. I barricaded it with furniture. Didn't matter. I still woke up in front of the mirror every single morning. One night, I caught my reflection smiling. I wasn't. I don't think I'm looking at myself anymore. 2 nights ago, I decided to confront it. I stared into the mirror for what felt like hours. My reflection didn't move. At some point, I reached forward, and my hand passed through. No resistance, just cold, like putting your arm into icy water. When I pulled it back, there was a mark on my palm, a symbol I don't recognize. It hasn't faded. Today, I pried the mirror off the wall. Behind it was a door. I don't have the key, but someone is whispering behind it. They keep saying my name, and they sound exactly like me. Update? Should I open it? I don't know if I'm still me anymore.